Welcome back friends to GamerSPR. The PlayStation 4 has a strong life cycle so far since its release, and while we're getting close to the launch of the next generation consoles, we still have plenty of new titles to look forward in the plane on the PS4 in 2020. In this video, we're going to showcase some of the most anticipated video games releasing on the PlayStation 4 this coming year. We post videos every week. Please hit the subscribe button to be notified whenever a video goes public. Number 1. Nioh 2. Team Ninja's long-awaited samurai hack-and-slash sequel Nioh 2 will be heading to PlayStation 4 on March next year. But actually, no one was expecting the announcement of the next game in the franchise to be just a year after the original game's release. Nioh became famous because of its Dark Souls-like difficulty and exceptional boss battle design. The game feels like a true Soulsborne game, only that it's set in the era of samurais. Game environments, level designs, and the characters all related to the world of samurais, and the gameplay mechanics feels heavily like a Souls game. Number 2. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is something of an alternate history take on the era of the Mongolian Empire. The Mongol army has invaded the island of Tsushima, and you as the player must control one of the last samurais as he attempts to fight off the invading horde. Along the way, players will be forced to abandon their traditional ways and embrace a style of fighting referred to as the Way of the Ghost. This stunning game from Sucker Punch and the makers of Sly Cooper and Infamous features incredible visuals, a sweeping soundtrack, and a methodical combat system reminiscent of what we've seen in God of War, and a lot of promising design choices. Number 3. The Last of Us Part 2. Given the first game was hailed by players and critics alike as a masterpiece with excellent emotional storytelling and engaging, realistic characters, we have to admit that the decision to release a follow-up isn't particularly shocking. We'd probably have been more surprised if there wasn't one. And yet, when The Last of Us 2 was first announced, we'd be lying if we said our hearts didn't skip a beat. Not only has Ellie matured as a character, the enemies she faces have developed and they're more realistic than ever. The infected in The Last of Us Part 2 are smarter and more reactive than their predecessors, making them a tougher foe to face. AI has improved, allowing enemies to communicate with one another and look for Ellie when she's hiding. Expect some tense moments to arise from this. Number 4. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the gorgeous new game that's been rebuilt from the ground up. It features a hybrid battle system that merges real-time action with strategic command-based combat. After more than 3 years of development, Square Enix is finally sharing details on what players can expect from the game, which is officially titled Final Fantasy VII Remake. The game will be released in an episodic format, meaning players won't be able to experience the full story of the original when the first episode drops on March 3rd. The game looks beautiful so far, and Square Enix has added tons of cinematic flair to the game's memorable story. Number 5. Gungrave G.O.R.E. Following Garino's defeat in Gungrave Overdose, Mika and Grave looked for traces in places all over the world in order to eradicate the seeds in Gungrave V.R. One day, Mika encounters a small organization carrying out the same actions and forms an alliance with them to create a new organization. Mika becomes its leader and Grave remains by her side, same as always. In Gungrave G.O.R.E, not only will you wield the Cerberus twin handguns, tools for close-range combat are also being prepared. In the process of this, the game adopted the use of transform action, where the tempo changes when using Cerberus depending on the action. Number 6. Project Awakening. Project Awakening is an open-world game. It has co-op multiplayer components and a lot of fighting, blood, and sweat. For side games, it's something really new and interesting because they are trying to find a balance between storytelling and a gameplay focus. High fantasy is the game's inspiration. Takaki mentions Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Side games is aiming to allow for up to 12 players to play together at once. It sounds like they are still deciding on a lot of things, including whether you can use magic or whether the game will have a character class system. Number 7. Predator Hunting Grounds. Asymmetrical co-op combat game Predator Hunting Grounds is about teamwork versus individual ruthlessness, still in alpha form and due out on PlayStation 4 next year. It's a battle between a dangerous monster and a group of less powerful human soldiers. It's a fast game in which circumstances change rapidly. No matter which the available roles you take on, Playing the game is an exercise in switching constantly between the state of hunter and hunted. Predator Hunting Grounds is due to be released on PlayStation 4 in 2020. Number 8. Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is a revamped rendition of Persona 5, and it includes a new Phantom Thief, a new palace, new battle mechanics and personas, additional narrative and social features, a new semester, and compatibility with PlayStation 4 Pro. It will even receive DLC that brings Yu and Makoto, the protagonists of Persona 3 and Persona 4, to the challenge battle Gauntlets. The original Persona 5 storyline will remain essentially unchanged, and there will be new anime and game cutscenes, although a third semester scenario is added after defeating Yaldabaoth. Number 9. Yakuza Like a Dragon. The Yakuza name and spirit will carry on with an all-new saga in Yakuza Like a Dragon, commonly referred to as Yakuza 7. Over the past 13 years, Yakuza has established a signature blend of heartfelt melodrama and comedic absurdity that has won over plenty of hearts, and judging from the story and gameplay trailers we've seen thus far, Yakuza Like a Dragon is trying to carry on that tradition. We now follow the story of Kasuga Ichiban, who's sort of an inverse Kiryu. I mean, look at his suit. But Ichiban will have his own unique tale through Japan's criminal underworld. Number 10. Wild. Use your instincts and intuitions to thrive in an incredibly hostile environment. Learn how to control living creatures and venture into your friend's game world to help them survive. Experiment with your surroundings in your quest of survival. A simple plant could just as easily save your life or bring about a swift death. In Wild, you play as a shaman and it's entirely up to you how you play. Explore and learn. The only objective in Wild are to listen, look, and understand the world. Due to that, even the on-screen HUD is very minimal, allowing you to find your own sense of achievement and mission progress. There's no prompts, no objective markers, just a massive world and a whole lot of freedom. Thank you guys for watching the video. What are the games you're most excited about? Tell us in the comment section. We'll be reading every single comment. See you next time.